And that incident taught me the priority and urgency of addressing the issue of violent extremism, not only in our society, but at global level. Today, if you look at the world scene, we have entered an age of demagoguery. Whether it is country like ours, whether it is the developed world like North America or Europe or Australia or New Zealand, everywhere today you find rise of extremism in one form or another. There are shootings taking place in every part of the world. It is not just here in Pakistan that we have people who are blinded by their hate for other either sects or religions. Even in a country like Canada, a Pakistani origin family is overrun by a truck driver who thinks that they are alien to his country and they have no right to live in Canada. Similarly, we saw this tragic incident of shooting in a mosque in New Zealand, which is a very peaceful country. So why is all this happening? I think one of the fundamental drivers behind these developments is the new power of information. We used to live in the age of mass media. As long as we lived in the age of mass media, the media, in order to draw greater audience, they had to broadcast messages which will relate to wider audiences. Those messages had to be unifiers, unifying people. You needed to look at the common threads so that you can draw greater audience towards your broadcasting message. But with the advent of micromedia, now there is no need for unifiers. Now any parochial message can be broadcast by a single individual or a person at global scene or global level. So what we see today is the proliferation of these extremist parochial messages reaching out to people and influencing them. I think one big challenge is how do we counter the spread of extremism through the new media, which is enabling each and every extremist to reach out to every person in any part of the world through social media. Still, we are lagging behind these groups who are spreading messages of hate on social media. So I think societies have to come together and find out a mechanism so that we can effectively have stronger counter narratives so that our youth is not swayed by these elements. There are many reasons for people to take the path of extremism. There was a conference in France once I attended, and people from all over the world were trying to demystify or decode what it takes for someone to become an extremist. So people had different explanations. Someone said that, lack of education, somebody said unemployment, somebody said inequality, someone said, lack of justice, and all different sorts of answers. I remember there was a very senior veteran professor from either from Oxford University or Cambridge, I don't remember correctly, but he was very aged. And he was of German origin. He happened to be a Jew also. So he said that, look, what happened to Jews in Germany, today if you mention that in modern Germany, they would not even like to discuss it. It was so embarrassing for them. But were Germans illiterate nation? Were Germans unsophisticated people? Actually, German nation is one of the very advanced nations in Europe. But they, when they fell victim to the ideology of hate propagated by Hitler, they were completely blindfolded. And they acted in a manner that it still embarrasses them in history, that how they did what they did. So he said that, look, it was neither education nor anything. Humans have one virus. If it enters in their mind, it turns them into beasts. And that virus is the virus of prejudice. You know, if you can invoke prejudice in human minds, that can turn humans into beasts. And this prejudice leads them towards hate. And when you are driven by hate, your mind shuts to any rationality. So I think the biggest culprit today for this lack of tolerance in our societies everywhere is the promotion of prejudice and hate by these demagogue leaders. And that is what we need to now fight collectively as human civilization. The world is connected. And you have seen that how just the conflict between Russia and Ukraine has disrupted the whole world. Today, the heat of this conflict is impacting even the remotest